welcome back to the JKA Massey Instructors course. So I've left up on the board from the previous lecture, we're talking about the names of the kata, so I'd like to continue where we left off for that particular video. So the next one we're going to take a look at is kanku. So first of all we have kanku dai, and obviously the same kanjis will apply to kanku sho. So we've just got dai up here at the moment so you can see what they are. So first of all, let's go with kan. And kan comes from the Japanese kanzuru. So the on reading is kan and the kun reading is kanzuru. And kanzuru are actually quite a nice word. You can say to look or view. But there's also a definition from a Buddhist term for kanzuru, which really means like a Buddhist monk almost meditating or contemplating something. So we can use the word contemplate there as well. And ku, which kanji you obviously well know from the kara, translates as sora, and sora means sky, and the concept of that, the fact is that the sky is empty. That's how it's viewed. There's nothing in it, so to speak. Space, emptiness. So kanku basically means to look at or view or maybe even contemplate the sky or the emptiness. So it's you can say view the sky, with the idea perhaps of the contemplation aspect put into it. So kanku dai and obviously kanku sho. Kanku dai just means big and kanku sho just means small, as I already explained in the previous video. So let's take a look at the next one. And this one will be NP. So I'll just have to cross these out briefly. So let's have a look at NP. So N can also be N, but the on reading would be N, and that comes from N-shi, and N-shi is a swallow. The bird, obviously, swallow, not to swallow. So this is swallow, so N-shi is a bird, a flying bird, and the second one, P, right, so P is maybe is a little hard, a softer way of saying B, so we can also have B there, and B comes from, or goes into, I should say, tobu. So tobu means to fly. So this one is very easy to see, flying swallow, which is how we usually translate that one in English. Oops, sorry, let's just put that down correctly. So P or B, it's just a softening sound, and tobu is to fly, flying swallow. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Now this one also has some Buddhist overtones, Jion. Oops, that's okay. So just take a look at this. So Ji, so this one is for Jion. So this is the kanji for Ji here. quite a complicated looking kanji. Actually, that comes from itsuku. And itsuku shimu. Shi means to do, shimu. So, shi and mu. So, itsuku means to love, or maybe cherish. So you have to get the idea of perhaps a Buddhist temple, the way that a monk would apply himself. Of course, you think about the Shaolin monks and how they meditate, but they also train in martial arts. So that's the concept here for ji. Believe this comes from the Ji temple. I'm not exactly sure where it is, but it was somewhere in China. So this is the origin of the term ji. And on. So on basically doesn't really have a translation as such into a word of Japanese, because on is also a concept of Japanese thinking or way of doing. So you can say the primary idea is kindness, and also a little bit in Japanese the idea of being obligated to do something. So it's also can be looked at as an obligation. But the primary concept is kindness. So when we have la or cherish, perhaps a little bit of compassion involved in karate, for example, the starting movement is like this, then we think about just love and kindness would probably be the best 2 points to put together there for Jion. You can imagine this being from a Buddhist monk training in martial arts. So, that one. Now the next one coming up is jitte. So ji, well actually ji could be the same kanji as jion, but normally the kanji is written just as ji, because this usually means 10 hands. So ji in this case would just translate as 10. So this would be, actually would be ju in the kun reading, ji equals 10. And te, well obviously you know te, so te is really a Japanese word, te, so we call it Japanese hand, and therefore this is just 10 hands. I'll go into the other definition of te shortly, so bear with me on that one. So that describes jitte. And the next one we're going to put up here is gankaku. So first of all, for gankaku, we have gan, the on reading, and that translates into Japanese as iwa. Now, iwa means rock. You can probably see at the top here, this is the same kanji as mountain. So we have a rock being a big mountain, not a small rock on the floor. So the idea perhaps of a mountain or a high peak. And then we've got kaku. And that translates into Japanese as tsuru. So you've probably seen in this tsurudachi is the stance that's used in gankaku, and this means a crane. Again, that's the bird, not the machine. So, very simple, as you can see. This translates as crane on a rock. So, gankaku, crane on a rock. Take a look at the next one. And this one is hangetsu. So, first of all, han. And han, reading in Japanese, is nakaba. Naka, as you know, means the middle, so nakaba means half. So we can put half there. And getsu, it's this kanji, which means the tsuku. It's tsuki. And tsuki means moon. So again, this translates very easily as half moon, which is the half moon definition of hangetsu. Take a look at the next one. So this one is sochin. Actually, this is one of the few that doesn't really have a Japanese rendering as such. It just has the kanji itself from the on reading, and it just goes straight into Japanese as well. So there's no real kun reading here, but we can say that that means strength. And chin, again, has no particular meaning, but it means calm. So so-chin means strength and calm. No particular Japanese differentiation. So-chin. Now, next one, just explain here about the difference in tei and shu. So this one is, normally we say unsu, so un comes from, goes into kumo, which is a cloud. And su really should be shu, and shu is te, as you can see here, and te means hand. So we have cloud hand, or cloud hands for this one. As I said before, when do they use when do the Japanese use the on reading, such as unshu, and when do they use the te reading, or kun reading, like te? That's something that's a little bit more complicated, and I'm not going to try and get into that one today, because I'm not sure that I understand that 100% myself. So, let's just go on. So we take up the next one, which is chinte. Now, chin is the on reading for the first section, and that comes from mezurashi. And mezurashi means strange, unusual, you can say strange, unusual, rare. There's quite a few meanings for mezurashi. And te, well, te again, it comes here, equals hand. So usually it's translated as rare hands. You may have a different definition for that one, but that's basically the meaning. Now the next one we have here is meikyo. So me is the on reading there, comes from akarui, and akarui means bright. So this is me, akarui, bright. And kyo is from kagami, and kagami is a mirror. Kagami. So this is bright mirror. Meikyo. Now going on to the last section here, we have one kan, and one, well actually sorry, that's not correct, is it? So that should be o, and one is king. So just one syllable on its own there. And kan comes from kanmuri, which means crown. So again, very easy to see how this one translates as king and crown. Now the last ones are really just numbers. So take that one out first. So this translates like this. This is ni, ju, shi. So these are just numbers. So they're the same in Japanese and Chinese, and just means 2, 10 and 4, so 2 times 10, 24, and ho, which comes from aruku, which means step, with the idea of walking, so you can say walking step if you like. So, very simple, 24 steps. And of course we can just transfer, if we want, for gojushi. So gojushi ho would be just different. Instead of 24, it would be 54. Gojushi. So same meaning. Just take that out, and we have 54. So take that one down. So that completes all of the different kata and their respective origins of the words and what they mean in both Chinese on and Japanese kun. So that's all we're going to do for this particular section. Thank you very much. Us!